Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Nishavatarakan Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sanyakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoditau Gaur Udaye Pushpavanatau Chitra Sandau Tamonadau Granthera Arambha Kori Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hoya Vigana Vinashana Anayasa Sapal Nija Vanchita Purana Jaya Jaya Kripa Moy Jagatera Nath Sarva Jagatera Kura Shubha Drishtipat Guruve Gauri Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear worshipable devotees, for joining. We are reading Sri Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta, Adi Lila, chapter 3, the external reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We read till text number 96 the other day, so we can proceed from there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Text number 97. Keha pape keha punya kare vishayatarang kare vishaya bhoga bhakti ganda nahi yate yaya bhava roga. Keha pape keha punya kare vishaya bhoga bhakti ganda nahi yate yaya bhava roga. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Everyone was engaged in material enjoyment, whether sinfully or virtuously. No one was interested in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, which can give total relief from the repetition of birth and death. Purport: Advaita Acharya saw the entire world to be engaged in the activities of material piety and impiety, without a trace of devotional service or Krishna consciousness anywhere. The fact is that in this material world there is no scarcity of anything except Krishna consciousness. Material necessities are supplied by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. We sometimes feel scarcity because of our mismanagement, but the real problem is that people are out of touch with Krishna consciousness. Everyone is engaged in material sense gratification, but people have no plan for making an ultimate solution to their real problems, namely birth, old age, disease, and death. These four miseries are called bhava roga, or material diseases. They can be cured only by Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is the greatest benediction for human society. Wow, that's amazing. So, keha papa, keha punya, tare vishaya bhoga. Some by papa, by doing wrong things like selling liquor, selling meat, they are doing sense gratification, vishaya bhoga. Some may be doing pious things. They may be doing their normal job in mode of goodness or business, but the purpose is the same. That is to enjoy sense gratification, vishaya bhoga. Without bhakti, no one can be freed from bhavaroga. And what are those bhavaroga? Birth, old age, disease, and death. B-O-D-Y. Birth, old age, disease, and Y is Yamaraj, death. So these are the real problems Prabhupada is mentioning here. Without the transcendental service to the Lord, Krishna, Lord Gauranga, That is the only thing which can give relief. And if one does not take shelter of Krishna, Krishna Katha, Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, then there is no hope to get free from Bhavaroga. By doing by solving problems on their artificial level. Oh, there is food shortage, or there is this shortage, that shortage, building. These are not the real problems. The real problem is, Prabhupada is saying, lack of Krishna consciousness. And if everyone is Krishna conscious, all the other problems like ecological problems, environmental problems, food shortages, and unemployment, and all the other things, which pollution, is mainly the real problem is lack of Krishna consciousness. And if everyone is Krishna conscious, all the other problems will naturally be gone. So very straightforward, very simple, but very, very powerful. Let's see the next one. Someone wants to read? Text 98. Umesh Prabhu, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, yes, thank you very much. Dandavat Pranam, text number 3.98. Loka Gati Dekhi Acharya Karuna Hridaya Vichara Karena Lokera Kai Hita Haya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Seeing the activities of the world, the Acharya felt compassion and began to ponder how he could act for the people's benefit. Purport. This sort of serious interest in the welfare of public makes one a bona fide Acharya. An Acharya does not exploit his followers. Since the Acharya is a confidential servitor of the Lord, his heart is always full of compassion for humanity in its suffering. He knows that all suffering is due to the absence of a devotional service to the Lord, and therefore he always tries to find a way to change people's activities, making them favorable for the attainment of devotion. That is the qualification of an Acharya. Although Sri Advaita Prabhu himself was powerful enough to do the work as a submissive servitor, he thought that without the personal appearance of the Lord, no one could improve the fallen condition of the society. In the grim clutches of Maya, the first-class prisoners of the material world wrongly think themselves happy because they are rich, powerful, resourceful, and so on. These foolish creatures do not know that they are nothing but clay dolls in the hands of material nature, and that an moment material nature's pitiless intrigues can crush to dust all their plans for godless activity. Such a foolish prisoners cannot see that, however, they improve their position by artificial means. The calamities of repeated birth, death, disease, and old age are always beyond the jurisdiction of their control. Foolish as they are, they neglect these major problems of life and busy themselves with the false things that cannot help them solve their real problems. They know that they do not want to suffer death or the punches of disease and old age. But under the influence of illusory energy, they are grossly neglect and therefore do nothing to solve the problems. This is called Maya. People held in the grip of Maya are thrown into oblivion after death and as a result of their karma in the next life. they become dog or gods. Although most of them become dogs. To become gods in the next life, they must engage in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, they are sure to become dogs or hawks in terms of the laws of nature. The third class prisoners being less materially opulent than the first class prisoners endeavor to imitate them, for they also have no information of the real nature of their impersonation. Thus, they also are misled by the illusory material. The function of Acharya, however, is to change the activities of both the first class and third class prisoners for their real benefit. This endeavor makes him a very dear devotee of the Lord, who says clearly in the Bhagavad Gita that no one in the human society is dearer to him than the devotee who constantly engages in his service by finding ways to preach the message of Godhead for the real benefit of the world. The so-called Acharyas of the age of Kali are more concerned with exploiting the resources of their followers than mitigating their miseries. But the Sri Advaita Prabhu, as an ideal Acharya, was concerned with improving the condition of the world situation. So Prabhu do understand here a little bit about the Advaita Acharya, who is taking here the task for the benefit of the people. And Prabhupada explains here the importance of the Acharya, what kind of the Acharya and how they are benefit for the being the welfare for all the human society. But the people like me in the Maya, like basically we get misled by so many ways anyway. And because of this, our own the material desire and material nature, depending on the what quality we acquired, depending on the what kind of the mode we acquired, we go through so much problems in the day by day. But in order to solve that problem, one has to render the service to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. And Prabhupada also said so many lectures, either you worship the God or you will be end up worshiping the dog, basically. And that's my understanding, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. The mood of compassion of a great soul is seen here. The spiritual master, Guru, Acharya. They cannot see the sufferings of others. This is the mood of great souls. Para dukkha dukhi. On the contrary, selfish, egoistic, demoniac people, they like to take pleasure in others' suffering. Para dukkha sukhi. Like Mrigari and pretty much majority of the population in Kali Yuga. Vaishnava Prabhupada went to US. He was very in a comfortable position, Vrindavan, good association, Dham, Ramanriti, Radha Mudar, deities, Goswamis, the Samadhi is there, everything is there. What could be a better place to be in the whole, planetary system than where the Rupa and Goswami Samadhi, and then so many great soul Samadhi is there. Radha Mudar Mandir, the Shila worship, where Krishna's thumbprints, footprints are there. So many wonderful things are there in Radha Mudar. It's Prabhupada has mentioned at that place. It's like the spiritual center of the whole world. If we go there, we'll find that quote in the walls. But he could not see the suffering of others. So that is the mood of compassion. Loka gati dekhi. Gati here is basically durgati. Seeing the degradation the world is going in. Acharya karuna hridaya. So titikshva karunika suhrida sarva bhutana ajata shatrava shanta sadhava sadhu bhushana. These are the 6 main qualities of a sadhu, said by Kapila Muni. One is very, very compassionate, karuna. So, loka kaiche hitahaya. How will I do hita or benefit for the loka, jivedaya? These are the main principles of Vaishnavism: jivedaya, Vaishnava seva, namaruchi. So we should also, again, we are not like Advaita Acharya, we are also not like Prabhupada, who can turn the whole world upside down in a good way, or who can, maybe all of you are, I'm not. But at least we should think, we should also do vichar. How can I do best for Loka Hita? Devotion doesn't mean just, okay, I'm fine, I'm chanting my rounds, I'm eating prasad, my family is fine, they're also eating prasad. Okay, we're all set. Which is very good, but again, it's not the mood what the great souls are exhibiting. So that doesn't mean that we have to travel in different countries like Prabhupada, but at least we can do something. We can also, based on our situation, we can do something for Lokahita, by sharing the holy name, by sharing Krishna Prasadam, by inviting others to our home, or by sharing books, by encouraging others to come to temple. Yenikin prakarena. If we do vichar, Krishna will give the intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti. If we do have that mood, oh Krishna, please help me. How can I inspire others? How can I be an instrument in your hands? We don't have who are we to be compassionate about? We have to be just instrument of Srila Prabhupada's compassion, instrument of Advaita Acharya's compassion. And if we sincerely do vichar, sincerely do prayer, then they will make us an instrument. And by using us as a tool, they will inspire others. So this is a very good mood, and our whole foundation is, our whole mood, our whole institution, our ISKCON parampara is on this foundation, to do Loka Kalyan, to do the real, not Loka Kalyan. Many people think that they are doing Loka Kalyan. Some people think by feeding meat they are doing Loka Kalyan. Some people think by giving blanket they are doing Loka Kalyan. Some people think by opening hospital they are doing Loka Kalyan. But what is real Loka Kalyan? What is real Hita or Loka Hita, same thing, is by giving Krishna consciousness. The example is giving good food to a fish outside the water, good clothes, good home outside the water. The fish will not be happy. So the real problem is lack of Krishna consciousness, repeated birth, old age, disease, and death. So one who helps to overcome that is a real well-wisher. And that can only be done through the process of bhakti yoga in this day and age. So that's the mood of Advaita Acharya. Any other comments, additions anyone has? Okay, 99. Lakshmi Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna all devotees. Text 99. Apani Shri Krishna yadi karine avatara, apane acharya bhakti karine prachara. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Advaita Acharya taught, if Shri Krishna were to appear as an incarnation, he himself could preach devotion by his personal example. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. I think this verse comes multiple times in a paraphrased way. Apani Acharya Prabhu Savara Sikhar. Again, Acharya means Acharan Charati iti Acharya. Acharan means good behavior, good example. In Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna says, Yad Yad Acharati Shreshthas Tatta Devi Tarojana. How the common man follow the common man follow the leaders. So if the leaders are exemplary, then the common man will follow the example. So being a good example is very, very important. Krishna says that although I am free from all these actions, reactions, but I still act so that common people are not misled. So we have discussed this point in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita also. So by Acharan, by good behavior, preaching is by example. I can talk big words, but that will have no effect unless one has the right behavior. If one has right behavior, example, then that person, even without speaking anything, will inspire hundreds of souls. Like Srila Prabhupada is a classic example. His accent, till date, I consider myself that I know decent English with the decent accents. It's my false pride. But Prabhupada, and still people, so many times, oh, what did you tell? What are you speaking like I'm not judging anyone, but I have a hard time sometimes communicating to the people who are born in this country. They don't understand what I'm speaking. Although I try my best. I have to repeat sometimes multiple times. What is it, B or D? Is it T or D? They get confused. Or I don't express properly, whatever way. The point is, so Prabhupada's accent at the age of 70, 70 years, the body was old, the accent was even heavier. And those people were very young. They were not of the same age group either. And they were young, they were following a totally different lifestyle, totally different culture. So what was there in Prabhupada? His, of course, if we talk about the external things, he didn't have a big fan following. He didn't have a lot of money. He didn't have a lot of so-called external charisma, right? Like big, so sometimes you see some of these motivational videos and speaker, they come with a charisma, thousands of people clapping, kind of, they have their own, entourage coming. Prabhupada was all by himself, single old person. What inspired these young people was the example, the genuine karuna, the genuine caring, loving attitude. Only selflessly serve them. At the age of 70, he was like cutting apples and distributing. He didn't ask, okay, why don't you cut apples and distribute others? He was washing their utensils. Just think about Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada washing the utensils of the hippies in the early days. That inspired this person is really our true well-wisher. So preaching is always by example. That's what Advauta Acharya is also sharing here. So let's see. Who will hit the century 100th verse for this chapter?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I do it?
Yeah, please.
Dandavat pranam everyone. Nama vinu kali kale dharma nahi are, kali kale kaiche have Kṛṣṇa avatare. Translation by His Divine Grace Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. In this age of Kali, there is no religion other than the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. But how in this age will the Lord appear as an incarnation? Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Back to you.
Hare Krishna. So beautiful line here. Nam Vinu. That means without the holy name. Kali Kal. Very simple, in the age of Kali. Dharma nahi ara. Or koi dharma nahi hai. That means there is only one religion. One Yoga Dharma. Yoga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Yajna. Yajna Nam Japa Yajna Asmi. Sarva Dharma Sar. This is the holy name. Sarva, the essence of all religion, especially in this age of Kali Yoga, is the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this was the mood. Acharya also knew that. He was also repeatedly chanting. But he wanted the Lord to come. So he constantly doing hunkar, roaring like a lion for the Lord to come. And we know that Lord never denies the prayers, the call of his devotees. Yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tisthami narada. The Lord says, if you call me, I'll come. If Advaita Acharya called out, the Lord came. So if we also sincerely call out, which we try to do every day, the Lord will come. We just have to, or I just have to, be more sincere, more devotional, more eager, more prayerful mood, more humble, then certainly the Lord will come. Where? In the chambers of our heart, and remove all the darkness of Kali Yuga, all the evil effects, lust, anger, greed, envy, and always stay there. Any other thoughts, comments before we move on to Bhagavatam? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.